Hey everybody, welcome back to another Unreal Engine 5 game development live stream where we're working back in our Gas Course project. An action RPG built from scratch using Unreal Engine 5, now 5.4, C++ blueprints, the gameplay ability system plugin, and all that good stuff. Hey Beata, I can hear you, I can say hi to you. So, today we're going to watch some videos about the Mover 2.0 plugin, this new character movement solution that's supposed to be better for networking and things like that. And I kind of want to see if we can get it working with our character. I don't know how long this would take or if it's something actually viable at the moment for our project. But I wanted to at least take a look with it and kind of watch some information about it. So we're going to do a lot of research today and kind of just watch and read about it from other people. And also take probably a look at the plugin in the editor because I believe we already enabled it. So there should be under I need to open up plugin content. There should be a Mover 0.0 one. So engine plugins. Guessing it's gonna be under Mover. Yeah, Mover content, Mover C++. Not sure why there's nothing there. I'll have to figure out why. Kind of disappointing, but I think we'll figure that out. Don't know if we're missing anything. Showing all the content stuff. There's all the classes and stuff like that. But yeah, we'll take a look. We'll figure this out. So we're gonna watch a video. I'll link it in chat for those that kind of want to watch along. I'll increase the volume a little bit so you guys can hear it. I don't know how well you're gonna be able to hear it, but we can just kind of watch it together. So let's go ahead and do that.
Recently I've been playing around with the Mover plugin, which is basically Unreal's new solution to character movement. So before you had basically character movement component, but it had some issues where it was kind of limited. If you wanted to do different kinds of characters, maybe you want to have like a circular planet with dynamic gravity and stuff like that, and classical character movement component did not have some of those features, so then you would have to create your own character movement component from scratch basically. So this character move is basically Unreal's new solution to kind of try to make it more modular and flexible, and also have, I think, better networking and replication. But yeah, that's kind of their general goal with this. I basically wanted to create a video to just let people know what this component is and what it is about. And right now you can only get it if you get the source version of Unreal 5.4. Otherwise you basically can't get it in any release version because it's still not released. So you're gonna have to wait for 5.4 to get even an experimental version of this plugin. So yeah, so if you want to get it, go to their GitHub and find the Unreal Engine 5.4 version. Download it locally. You have to do a bunch of stuff to compile the source files and stuff like that, and then you will be able to use it.
Okay, so there is an additional
So
plugin
just
for Mover
so
examples.
you get the general idea of what it is. So the Mover plugin, aka Character Mover 2.0 effort, has the goal of massively improving the existing character movement functionality.
So we'll add that.
This is going to be a very large endeavor that has numerous touchpoints in the codebase, ranging from physics to animation to networking. The main goal of the effort are to support all types of all actor types, not only characters, allow gameplay programmers to focus on movement, less on the complexity of networking, improve extensibility and customization through modularity, while empowering non-engineers.
I'm just kind of concerned about how easily I can integrate this into my character because it is a character class.
Objects, support a generalized rollback networking model that other systems can also use. So yeah, basically more modularity, more possibilities with stuff. Also, you have simulation in their character movement component that they have now is also kind of limited. You basically have to disable the movement component when you want to simulate an object and kind of then start to deal with the physics there. But with this component, I'm assuming they're thinking of making it simulation, making it integrated with the movement. So maybe you can create like simulated characters, and those simulated characters can also use this character mover instead of having to ignore it, and then you have some custom solution for that. Also support all actor types. I think what I mean by this is basically that it's not just bipedal characters, and I'm assuming also they might include in this like vehicles or something, like maybe planes, helicopters, or something like that, and also maybe like quadrupedal characters.
Hey, Fusa, how you doing? It's been so long, finally completed engineer, can get back to EWE again. Nice, nice. Yeah, today's going to be a pretty lax stream. We're going to be watching a little bit about the new Mover 2.0 character movement solution. Watching a video about it, see if we can integrate into our project eventually. It's just that I don't know much about it. So we're going to learn about that. I've installed the plugin, added the content for the examples and stuff like that. So we're going to take a look at that today and probably like this week. Thanks for the follow, the Random Hero 76. Much appreciated. How you doing? Is it BP exclusive? No, it's C++ mostly. It's an experimental plugin. You can only get it when you have the
I don't
know, engine from source. So no, I don't know how. I'm sure there's some blueprint stuff involved with it, but it's mostly C++. You're learning Unreal Engine for filmmaking. Nice.
character that you have.
Don't know much about it in that context, but yeah, maybe the stream will show you some stuff.
Mainly made for bipedal characters. You have like a step up stuff, maybe how you deal with push stuff around, physics interactions. So
my audio is distorted. Oh boy. My audio is distorted. Oh boy. Let me just make sure it's pulling the right stuff. Always something with my audio, man. I don't really know. The broadcast, yeah, it's using the right microphone. Maybe there's just too much gain. Maybe this sounds better. Maybe it's distorted just because it was too loud. I'm not sure. I don't want to waste time messing around with it. I gotta watch this video.
Everything's kind of made for like a character that's generally the size of the human and is bipedal. So I think they're just kind of trying to make it just general movement of the character. Hopefully also you can use this movement maybe on objects that are not even characters, just to reuse replication. But also they said they're gonna have some generalized rollback networking that also other systems can use. So hopefully, instead of having to create like client prediction or something by yourself, so that's one thing that I recently was kind of doing just for fun to kind of learn about it. When you get a low amount of updates from the server, how to smooth out the movement, stuff like that. So I kind of try to create my own thing in Blueprints, and it's interesting, but it's nice if they create like a general, if they make it way easier to replicate stuff like movement and make like a general good solution. That would be really great. So hopefully with this mover they are also going to introduce some general system for networking that we can use on other actors, not just the character mover. But that's just kind of what I'm hoping. But if even if just the character is decently replicated, where I don't have to worry much about it, I can just extend the character with my movement capabilities. That is also fine. It just can get a little bit annoying with replication, especially for characters that are not even using the character movement component that is right now in Unreal. So if you're using just the pawn and try to do some movement stuff there, then you're just gonna have to start.
One thing I'm worried about is if I have to like reparent my character class to pawn rather than character so that I can properly use this Mover 2.0 component rather than the default movement component. I'm not sure how much of a headache that's going to be. I don't know how it's going to affect everything.
Creating your own
So yeah,
replication if you want any stuff like client prediction, server reconciliation, stuff like that. But yeah, okay, so this is kind of general overview. So now let's go into the project and see what is this all about. Since I mainly like to use blueprints, I tried to kind of see how I can make the character move in blueprints, and it is kind of possible, but it's obviously not there. This is right now mainly done in C++, and they're kind of exposing a little bit some stuff, but in this version that I have right now is not there. So I'm assuming they're gonna flesh it out when they release the experimental version and alpha version and stuff like that. Yeah, so first, if you want to enable it, you need to go to the plugins and then just enable this. You don't have to enable these two, I just enable them so I have some examples to show you, but yeah, if you enable this movement plugin, you can right click then blueprint mover and then find pawn and basically get the pawn here. So yeah,
there's the rise from pawn, so that's upsetting.
And the main thing is you have this mover component. Oh yeah.
Okay, so there is a try safe move updated component.
So before we go deeper in there, I'm just gonna cover generally how it works, or I guess how I understand it, how it works. I didn't spend too much time, so I'm not intimately familiar with it, but basically what you have are these movement modes that you can basically customize. So you can add your own movement modes, you can create them. I also at some point created this jump movement mode just to test how I can create my custom component, and then basically you can layer them in here. Or what
I wonder if you can make like a strafe movement, like a strafe walking mode, or just a strafe mode or something like that. I definitely would want to imagine there's like a sprinting like movement mode. That makes a lot of sense.
What I did is you can also add them at runtime. So while the game is playing, you can add new movement, remove new movement, so that is really nice. Just as an example, yeah, so for this, this is the movement component that you have right now in the released versions. One issue is that when you want to see like movement modes, you have their own, they're kind of fixed movements, and then if you want to extend it, you kind of have to create your own custom thing, which is a little bit annoying, because if you don't want specifically exactly what they are giving you, you basically have to or deal with their stuff or create your own things from scratch. So for example, I was doing some work recently where I had to create a character that has crouch, walk, jog, sprint, and some other actions, and basically these movement modes were not enough and were not covering stuff that I needed. So then I created my own enum with my own states, and that was nice, but then I also had to deal with these booleans. So is falling, so you have a bunch of these things that you have to incorporate in your own thing, and it gets a little bit more messy than it could have been. So with this, it's really nice. I can just customize this as however I want. I can completely remove all of this. I can add my own things even at runtime, so that's real nice. After that, you have your starting movement mode. So this is which mode you're starting, and you're basically using text here. I guess I understand why they use text, because yeah, you cannot use enum or anything because it's kind of dynamic, so I guess. And then you have transitions, and if I click plus here just to give an example, so there is like if I understand transition, it's kind of how you want to go from one movement mode to another if you don't want like a harsh transition. So I think what's happening, so let's say, so immediate, I think this is basically similar to none. Maybe there's some special thing here, but basically since each movement mode, when you switch to it in code, you basically say, maybe you say something like, I want my movement speed to be now to go from, let's say, 500 to 800. I want my whatever, my gravity to change to this, stuff like that. And immediate basically means I just want it next frame, I just want those values to be changed. But then you can create your own custom transitions. So maybe when you go from walking to falling, there is a little bit of a transition there. Some values are not instantly changed, so you can basically create that and have transitions.
So they have a zip line kind of example there. Okay.
So these persistent sync state data types, I'm not exactly sure what it is, but it's some like syncing states or something. I'm not exactly sure what this means. Yeah, might be something to do with inputs. I'm not exactly sure, so I didn't touch it much. I just left it there. And this input producer, not exactly sure what it is. We can, I guess, leave that here.
There's not a lot of documentation so far.
So this usually, let me see. So this is something that you set so that your states can share some data between them. And if you use common legacy movement settings, you're basically using settings that you had in this character movement component, but then you can also create your own custom settings. So this is probably nice for transitioning from this movement system to the new one. But then you can also create your own custom shared data, so whatever data you want to share between different states. Yeah, you would do it in here. And gravity, this is nice. With the old one, you had just gravity that goes.
Yeah, only it was a velocity. Yeah, it wasn't a
But in
vector.
here you would basically have
That's cool.
have it any direction. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go a little bit into movement modes. So I tried to create a movement mode, but it was kind of difficult. But there is kind of general thing that you can do is you use this class called base movement mode, and with this class you basically get a few functions. You get on simulation tick, on unregistered, then on generate move, and basically when this triggers you get some data. So there is input collection, stuff like that. This is, I think I was trying to watch. I was basically opening their base class and trying to see how they set up from their examples, characters, stuff, and I tried to recreate it in blueprints, but yeah, as I said, it was not there and I couldn't make the character actually move using my own custom movement mode. But this is something that's gonna be fixed over the not fixed, but it's gonna be implemented over the months when the Unreal Engine 5.4 releases. But the general idea, if I understood correctly, is you have this generate move and then simulation tick. So when you are in this state, what happens on tick, and then I think this is triggered one time. So what happens when you switch to this state? So there's a bunch of stuff that you can do. So you have these collections, and these collections hold some data about your current input, orientation. There is also intent. So basically, I think intent is, I think this is kind of the direction where if the player presses to go in certain direction, but character is not currently going there because he's maybe rotating towards that position or something like that. I think that's what intent means, but I'm not sure. There's some jump stuff, so you can see there is
I know with
different collections of different data.
I know with the strafing thing, we gotta make sure we don't orient towards velocity. So I wonder if you can control that in this way.
You can use this to do some stuff basically, and then this is the output, and it kind of defines what is the final directions, velocity and stuff like that for your character. Yeah, so that's kind of if you are creating your own thing, and later when you create your move, you can add it in here, or what I did is you can get this character motion component and then add the movement mode from class, and then you can define class, and I just added it in here. And later what you can do is when you press space, we're gonna queue the next mode. I think queue means the next frame is gonna start to this frame. Basically saying whatever your mode in this frame, just the next frame go to this mode. And I'm sure there is some transition stuff that triggers, but yeah. And you define the name of it, and that's basically about it. Also, the only way in blueprints I made the character actually move was when I tried this try safe move updated component, and then you have the delta, basically the direction, and then the new rotation, and just get the character rotation. Also, what I like with their new component, that's kind of a small thing, but
I guess is this a, what's that stuff called? It's not a rotator. It's quaternion. It is a quaternion. Okay.
In the future, is this using quaternions instead of rotator for rotation?
I don't know much about quaternions. I just know they exist.
The rotation yourself, you get into some issues. Can get into gimbal lock or stuff like that. A character snap.
It'll be good for flying. I know that much.
Using quaternions by default there. Yes, let me just show you. So right now it's a little bit laggy, glitchy, however you would say it, when the character moves. I'm sure they're working on that, but yeah. So right now if I go forward, left, right, back, so my character is moving, and I'm basically doing this. So I'm trying to update the component, and if I try to pull from this character motion, and then let's do mover, we can see a bunch of stuff that we get with this. And I try move, slide and stuff like this to make it work, but for some reason...
Wow, thanks for the follow, Chris_JSS. How you doing?
When I click space and I try to use my own custom component, I just get teleported to 0.
Hope you're interested in the mover component. That's what we're learning about today.
0, and I can't move. It's definitely a skill issue. I'm not sure how to use it, but also it might not even be implemented properly, so it might not even work in blueprints. I'm not sure. So now let's go into characters that actually work, and that's into the examples. If you go into Engine plugins and then a mover
Yeah, after we watch this video together, we'll look at some of the content examples.
content. So the thing I showed you here.
Hey,
If you
how's it going?
You're gonna get this, and then you can find some examples.
So I guess this is gonna be the examples we'll be looking at as well.
So,
But I think, yeah, this video is a month old, so I'm not sure. Like 5.4 just came out, so I don't know how relevant or anything, if anything's changed.
Still, the character movement is a little bit laggy, unfortunately, but yeah, we're gonna have to deal with that. So first, we have this trail tracking. So it's gonna let you know your trail basically. You also have some debug stuff on the component, but yeah, I wasn't playing with that. Let's see what this is. Desync zone. So I'm not sure what this means. Something I guess happens there. Let me disable this. Also, my camera has some limit on rotation. I'm not sure why. That might also be a thing. So here we have teleportation. None of these are going to be kind of impressive. This is just their testing maps that they're using while they're developing this component, but it's just interesting to see kind of what they're thinking about and working with.
I wonder how well this will work for motion matching and stuff like that.
So that works.
Probably would
Then
work
we
fine.
have slopes. So this is, I think, unwalkable slopes. Then walkable slopes. Works fine. We have stairs. Now this is one of the features that I'm not really a fan of when it comes to character components, so hopefully they smooth this out. I don't like because you have like a step on minimum distance, meaning basically how high, if the character detects an object, how high the object can be before you cannot step on it anymore, which means basically if I move my character towards this box, it's gonna teleport character up and onto the box instead of just my character that is stuck on like a little rock or something. Now my issue with this is that usually it looks kind of laggy when you see it even in the current character movement component, so hopefully they fix this. In this version I can see right now it's just snapping, which I'm not a fan of, but hopefully they fix it. Now used in here you can see it's still a bit snappy, especially with the camera, but I'm sure they're thinking about that. This one I'm not even sure. I think I tried it and it didn't work. I think it should. Oh, it's
What
gonna push you, I guess.
What is that?
But it's really weak. I'm not sure. Maybe I need to jump. Oh,
Oh.
okay, so I can jump and it pushes me, I guess. Okay, let's try another map. There is few of them that are interesting. Character movement. Let's see this one.
I think this map will have a lot of good examples in it. Yeah.
So zipline. I forgot how I can grab onto zipline. Yeah, when I could press F, it just changes the gravity, but I'm not sure what button it is. Maybe I need to enable it somewhere. But anyways, I think it worked okay. You basically go on the zipline.
Okay, this video was kind of useful, I suppose. But let's see if we can jump into some examples here. Let me play some non-copyrighted music so we can vibe out a little bit while we do some research. Hopefully that music isn't too disruptive. And yeah, we should be able now. We have the plugins enabled for Mover. I have all the examples. Let's take a look at this ourselves. So Mover example content, maps. So character movement basics. Let's go in. So this is the map he was just in, I believe. So we got instructions in the bottom left. So we got IMC Mover mapping context, mouse and keyboard, WSD, 2D access to look around. No. Okay, the instructions kind of disappeared. F is the fly, jump is spacebar. Swap for extended pawn, dash distance. So is it like that? I don't know what the dash is. Oh, maybe I have to swap the extended pawn. So here's my extended pawn. So left shift is the vault, dash is control. Aim down sights. Zip line is with E. So where's that zip line? And then also here, vault over. And then there's double jump. What was the... I forgot the extended pawn controls. They gotta leave that up, honestly. How do I get the old pawn control back? All right. Let's try that again. Use it blind. E. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Cool, cool. All right, so he's just zigzagging. Possess pawn from map. All right, so this is the original one. Leave a pawn, pause, take a pawn. Okay. Launching fixed, okay. Animation root motion layer move. Oh, interesting. So it just plays a reaction thing, okay. Root motion stuff, cool, cool. Unwalkable ramps, oh, it's like, ah. So you're like, nope. Okay. Teleporting. Surface sliding. Not sure what that one's supposed to be. Movement bases. So just kind of chilling and vibing, okay. Guess that all makes sense here. Let's go now. Characters, mannequins, animation, meshes, blah, blah, blah. Gameplay. I'm guessing this is... No. Pawns. Here we go. So there's a physics mani pawn. Where is this referenced? So physics simulated character. Let's open this one up. This one I'm kind of interested in as well. For physics-based movement, ensure these project settings are enabled. Okay. Let's go back in here. So physics. Is it enabled physics prediction? So tick physics async. Guessing that one. Enable prediction. Guessing that's all I need. So what do I expect to have happen here? Okay, these things, so that, okay. Anything interesting over here? No. Okay. I'm assuming this one is the more complicated one. So again, yeah, everything derives from pawn. So mover examples character. Oh, it opens up Visual Studio. Crap, not writer. Music's too cyberpunky, I think. So yeah, so iMover input producer interface, and it comes from a pawn. So I feel like that's going to be our biggest problem. So event receive for starter, remove all widgets, blah, 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 clear mappings, apply AMC, controls information, show control, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's got all this stuff here. But how does this work exactly? So mover examples character, let's go in here. The mover, is it movers? No, mover examples. Let's see what we can get. So character motion component, view character movement mover component does that, set up application mode, blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure what this does. Static F name produce input BP function name. Set up input stuff, so on move, triggered. Let's see what this does. X, Y, and Z. I don't understand why they do it like that. So there are character variants. All kind of derived like that. And on move complete cached input intent. So where are they getting this information though? So movement input intent stuff. But on what are they doing on tick? Sorry, that's my stuff. Let's get rid of all my project related things for a moment. So here they're updating the cache move input thing. Are they doing anything on tick? So on produce input. So this is so generate user commands called right before the character movement simulation will tick. This isn't meant to be the best way of doing a camera system. It is just meant to show a couple of ways it may be done. It is worth calling out the code that happens here is happening outside of the character movement simulation. All we are doing is generating the input being fed into that simulation. That said, this means that A, the code below does not run on the server and non-controlling clients, and B, the code is not rerun during reconcile. Okay. So there's a virtual void on this. I think it's because we have to do this as well. But I think we need to do an example of this. Like I'm nervous about just automatically moving my character into this. I think I have to like make a custom pawn and just see if I can get it working, and then seeing how I can translate that to my actual character. Because yeah, by default we have this kind of elf character, and we have, you know, this kind of movement, and like very basic movement things. We don't have jumping or anything. I don't know if we will or need it. And then yeah, we got like this, you know, simple spell stuff. But I'm glad this still works. Boop. He's dead, but he comes back up and now he does. Okay. So yeah, I'm wondering like how easy it would be to translate that. So I think what I'll do, because I don't want to copy their stuff like one-to-one where I just kind of extend their mover thing. I kind of want to create a custom pawn and kind of copy paste things over and see how well I can get that to work. So I think what we'll do, new C++ class, it's going to be pawn. Next, we're gonna make a new one. So private game. I'll do experimental. Or no, mover. Oh, now I'll just put everything into mover, and then we'll say, you know, GASC. So gas course pawn. No, gas pawn. Now gas underscore mover pawn might be the best. Yeah, so private, blah, 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 blah. That should be good. Let's create it. Why is it opening up Visual Studio? Do I have to tell it? I might haven't updated it. I have to go to once it's done, I have to tell it that I'm using Writer instead of Visual Studio. Because I also wonder what the difference is between pawn and characters. Is it literally just the character movement component, or is there more differences that I should be aware of? UE5 differences between character and pawn. So there's a hierarchy to things, blah, blah, blah. So a pawn is an actor that can accept input from a controller that procs input, blah, blah. Characters are pawns that can walk around, as this is a specialized use case, widely applicable to many games now. Just gotta familiarize ourselves with this stuff, because again, if I switch my gas course character to pawn, I don't want to like significantly break a bunch of things, which probably will happen anyway. So it includes a collision setup, input bindings for bipedal movement, and additional code for player control movement. Okay. So yeah, I think we gotta go to project settings or editor preferences. I think it's code. Do a writer. And we can restart. We'll keep the mover examples here. Let's see. So we're still back to square one, right? Yeah. I gotta fix that bug where like I right click and it just doesn't let me move until I release. Interesting bug, gotta fix that later. And yeah, eventually we'll add some nice animations to this guy. And sprinting and stuff like that. I just want to figure out this movement component. But yeah, we got our burning. Got cool stuff going. Made a lot of progress, but you know, always finding something interesting to try to do here. So, yeah. Let's find our whoops, no. Let's go to experimental. So here's everything. So essentially, let me move the example stuff. I'm gonna move this to the other screen. You guys aren't gonna be able to see that, so apologies. But we need to add this public interface. That we got to include, I guess we don't need core minimal, I don't think. We definitely need mover simulation types, probably. And we need class U character movement component. That, not sure why this is complaining. Let's see. So we have a setup player movement input. They have a getter for the mover component, request move by intent. Let's just try compiling this just to see what happens. I should close the editor. He'll probably complain about that. And then, yeah, they got overridable things. Entry point for input production. Okay, I'll bring this back up so we can read it together. I don't know how well you guys can see that. I'm just going to make it as big as I can. I know I'm kind of in the way. So let me see if I can move it here. Maybe you guys will be able to read it. So virtual void, produce, input, implementation. All right, so build succeeded. Awesome. We don't need to let it finish compiling, I don't think. So what do we need for sure? So we definitely need get mover component. I've not request the character starts moving with intended directional magnitude. Probably this blueprint callable functions. So produce input implementation, on produce input in blueprint. Okay, so I guess that's like some function that you can have in the blueprint. And then they have these input actions, fly input action stuff. So whether or not we author our movement inputs relative to whatever base we're standing on or leave them in world space. Okay. So there's the orient to movement. So that definitely something important here. To remain vertical. Let's put orientation. Here's the object pointer and then a bunch of cached things. Which again, I'm not 100% sure on why we're caching a bunch of stuff. But yeah. I know we'll need to do some setup stuff. Like they put in an IMC, but I think they do it on begin play. So we'll see what we can get at any given moment here. So again, let's compile. Let's put our character in. Let's just see what this pawn looks like. We're gonna put our actual physical character in there too, our skeletal mesh with its dissociated animation blueprint. And then we'll hook it into our game mode and we'll just kind of have to see what it looks like. And, you know, hope for the best. So go to gas course folder. Put a new folder, experimental. Folder, mover. I don't think, yeah, it doesn't allow for decimal. So mover component, I guess. Now, blueprint class, not pawn, but GAC underscore mover pawn. BP underscore gas course pawn underscore mover. Something like that. By default, we don't have a lot to go on. I'm curious what they do. So let's go back to the mover examples here, because we have to provide a skeletal mesh. We have to provide collision. So I'm just kind of curious how they set that up. Yeah, they do capsule, SK mannequin, spring arm, and camera. So we're gonna need to supply all that too. So I guess, like, can I literally just copy that? Because I guess we would have to introduce this in the base class at that point because it doesn't come included with a lot of those things. So we're gonna have to, oh yeah, I don't know, like, I guess Gas Course character as the base class needs to be the pawn, so then our NPCs are also gonna fuck up. So it's gonna be a pretty big refactor. And here's our apply mappings and stuff. Yeah, okay. What's their route? They don't have a route. There's everything. Can I make this the route if I just drag it? Yep. Okay, so there's everything. So instead of SK many, I think there should be like, yeah, Gas Course, Elf, nope, Gas Course, Elf Male. And then there's a lot of like other things in there. So player, character, elf, male. Because we do a lot of stuff like this. So I think I can copy that. But the mesh itself is the head of the mast. So we'll just pump you in. Boop. Interesting that it doesn't update. You open it? Yeah. Weird that that didn't work correctly. So I should be able to paste this now. Attach that. To I have to essentially null all that kind of stuff out. There you go. And then I gotta copy this, put this on event begin play. Something like that. Blueprint bad. Do something like that. Good. Pretty funny that it's just his head like moving and stuff. It's weird that maybe do I need to again close it and reopen it and it'll be okay? Let's see. No. That's upsetting. So use animation blueprint stuff. Because like this, oh, it looks like this too in editor. But in game, is it okay? Yeah. So that's how it's supposed to look. So now let's let's make a new game mode. Go into under experimental, copy that. So we're gonna say BP Gas Course Mover game. Let's keep things as separated as possible so we can easily switch between the two just without giving us a big headache. Something along the lines of that. And now we should have something. Not yet. I need to go to world settings, override default game mode. Maybe I can make a copy of this actually. File, save current level as, and then Gas Course game. Experimental, move a component. So Gas Course, mover experiment. Like that. Awesome. And now mover. No, that's not the right one. Mover. That one. I also need to make sure that this is all hooked up to our GitHub. Yeah, I have to update my repo. I forget what the file's called. It's like a Git thing. We'll do that too tonight. So now we should see a completely different situation. Yes. And the hair is like, no. All right, so I got none. When get movement component, so we're gonna have to fix some stuff within the thing as well. So we'll probably have to create a duplicate and fix some stuff there, I think. All right, let's do a couple things first, right? Let's fix our git here. So I believe it's under here, and then yeah, our git ignore. That's right. So we're going to need to add some some directories here. We don't care about these things, so actually, I don't know if I have to like legit just add those manually here. But there should be now, yeah, content, action night, like that. And now we should see this update. So instead of 1325, files changed. So yeah, I do have 2 repos. So I hope I'm not even confusing myself here. Go and explore. Is this the C drive one? No, this is the D drive one. Ah. This one, the bottom one here. Also the D drive. That's not good. So I gotta re-add that. Add local repository. This choice does not appear to be a Git repository. Would you like to create a repository here instead? No. It is an existing repository. That's bizarre that it doesn't recognize it because it has a git ignore. Unless what I have to do as well. Let's grab this git thing up here. Copy it. So maybe that'll be okay. It's like, yeah, can I? So I can remove ones. So I definitely want to remove this top one. But yeah, this one. And then there's this one. So this bottom one, let's see. Is this C drive? Yes. Okay, so this one seems like to be the correct one. So yeah, we gotta start adding more stuff into the git ignore. we don't want to add a lot of the content because, you know, we purchased it and we don't want to share it on our GitHub or anything like that. So mage animation set like that. We save it, and then this should reduce from 1121 to something else, I guess, right? Yeah, 976. Okay, next. Content slash mfelf. That should reduce it even more. Plugin stuff. Is that how you write that one? Plugins and then star to get rid of all the plugin crap. The 111 changes to all source stuff. Yeah, readmes, yeah, target stuff. Cool, cool. I don't know if we need to include anything with the idea stuff. So let's just say 5.4 update, commit to main. The following files are over. We can't include the test map. I always forget that one. We should just add that to our ignore because that's kind of getting a deal. Which one's the map? Test map, right? Content, gas course, game, course underscore default umap. Should we move it? We should get to 110 files. No. Doesn't like that one. Wait. Okay, let's not include maps then. Is that fine? Oh, it still shows it. Why? Okay, let's forget about it then. Commit to main. Just not the map stuff. Push. I guess let's go to our repository. Make sure everything's on the up and up. My profile, my repos. Yes, course updated 3 weeks ago, but we should get, yeah, 5.4 update is pushed. We're good. We're good there. So let's make sure what our content look like. Good. I'm not sure about the effects stuff, but whatever. So we know we're good in that regard. So sorry for that tangent. But yeah, we now have our mover. We don't really have a way. Yeah, but also, yeah, I don't know why my character's hair is at the bottom. So hair, I guess the hair has to be 90. I know that's not right. You know what doesn't really make sense? Like the skeletal meshes are reading as like empty. So you got mesh, you got the skeletal mesh asset here. Upper, it's empty. So I kind of want to fix that just to be safe. Game mode, so feet. Whoops. Lower. Hair. Hair. Upper. Upper. Good. I feel like the spring arm, though, should be attached to the capsule. Like that. Well, does not make a difference at all, so. Not sure why. It's so weird. So like force update. Kind of weird, but okay, let's now, I want to get rid of that warning while we're playing. So there's this gas course one. Let's make a duplicate of that. That for experimental folder. But I gotta get over that, right? Now we should be able, because it's complaining about this. Now, is there a way to get like mover? Because I think I need like an explicit like for now, I think this is like the only thing we can do, like just so it doesn't complain, right? So we need to be able to access this data in the animation blueprint. So how do they handle that? So characters, mannequins, animations. So BP extended. So it does it has a mover component, so it's going to get that, and then it gets character mover like that. So we should be able to kind of copy this, and then this is how they get the information, get velocity and everything like that. So get cast to pawn mover for the time being. Pawn, sure.
Do you see now? It means becoming like clear water.
They do it is valid thing. Well, they do it for the beginning.
Drifts without effort one moment, then pounds.
Now I should be able to use this. Is there like a falling? No. Oh, that's the mover pawn, sorry. Under components, mover component. Falling is falling. So something like that. versus as well the get velocity like that. So obviously we're not going to see a difference, but you know, we shouldn't be getting any warnings. We do. I know why, because we still need to actually integrate it into our class. So I think that's we'll save that for tomorrow or whenever we do stream next, because essentially what we're missing here, using the mover examples pawn as the example, you know, all we did was implement that interface, but we need to add this component there. We need to add it as well. So that's the function to get it. We need to also have the actual component, right? Yeah, this one here under protected. So there's a couple things that we still need to do. So we'll save that for tomorrow. So, you know, baby steps, you know. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And thanks for the follows today from the Random Hero 76 and Chris_JSS. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. If there is anyone else watching that isn't currently following me here on Twitch, a follow would be much appreciated. We'll try to stream again tomorrow. If not, then maybe on Thursday, not sure. So keep an eye out. You know, life's busy. I wish I had a better schedule, but it is what it is. So have a good night, everybody, and I'll see you soon.